Most celebrities get cancelled for one wrong tweet. Charlamagne Tha God built a multi-million-dollar empire on saying the unforgivable. But the real secret isn't his mouth. It's what happened in a South Carolina prison cell that changed his DNA forever.
Wait, prison changed his DNA? I thought he was just a shock jock who got lucky with Wendy Williams. You're telling me there's a biological shift behind the guy who made Birdman walk out of an interview?
Luck had nothing to do with it. Before the radio fame, Leonard McKelvey was facing decades behind bars. He witnessed a murder he couldn't stop. That trauma created Charlamagne, a character designed to survive the brutal judgment of the world.
Hold on, he witnessed a murder. I knew he was from the streets of Monk's Corner, but that sounds like a movie script. So Charlamagne is basically a shield he invented to protect Leonard. That is actually terrifyingly brilliant.
It worked too well. He got his shot with Wendy Williams, the queen of radio. She plucked him from obscurity. But then, the unthinkable happened. He didn't just get fired, he was erased. Blacklisted from the entire industry.
Erased? How do you come back from being blacklisted by Wendy Williams? She runs the game. He must have had some serious dirt on someone to claw his way back into a microphone after that kind of exile.
No dirt, just pure, unadulterated audacity. He realized that if he had nothing to lose, he could say anything. He turned the Breakfast Club into an interrogation room. He didn't interview guests. He psychologically dismantled them live on air.
That explains the Birdman thing. Put some race pick on my name. Charlamagne didn't flinch. Most hosts would be shaking, but he looked bored. Is that the prison trauma kicking in? Or is he just a complete sociopath?
It wasn't just guests. He targeted the biggest artist on earth, Drake. He campaigned against him for years, calling him soft. He invented Donkey of the Day, just to humiliate people like him. And somehow, Drake responded.
He got under Drake's skin. That's impossible. Drake ignores everyone. But Charlamagne actually made him send bottles of champagne as a peace offering that was actually a threat? That level of psychological warfare is absolutely insane.
It is warfare. But here is the jagged pill nobody swallows. His past caught up. Rape allegations from 2001 resurfaced years later. DNA evidence was tested. The results shocked everyone, including the prosecutors who wanted him buried.
Whoa, stop. DNA evidence? I remember the headlines, but I never heard about the actual results. This is the stuff they buried deep in the tabloids. What did the tests actually show? This changes the whole narrative.
The DNA didn't match. Case dismissed. But the court of public opinion doesn't care about forensic science. He was branded a villain. Instead of hiding, he did the most dangerous thing possible. He went to therapy and broadcasted it.
He monetized his therapy sessions. That is next-level genius. He took his biggest weakness, his mental instability, and turned it into a best-selling book, Shook One. I actually read that. I didn't realize it was a survival tactic.
It was survival, but the cost was astronomical. He was having panic attacks while driving to the studio. He thought he was dying of heart failure every morning. The man roasting the world was crumbling inside his own luxury car.
That is terrifying. To be the loudest voice in the room but suffocating in silence. It explains why he started preaching about healing. It wasn't a brand pivot, it was an emergency brake for his life.
Exactly. Look at his relationship with Kanye West. Charlamagne was the only one Kanye trusted during his breakdowns because Charlamagne recognized the mania. They were two broken kings speaking a secret language that nobody else understood.
That makes so much sense. The interview on the Hill. Kanye looked at him like a brother, not a reporter. But didn't they fall out too? It seems like everyone eventually turns on him. Why can't he keep a friend?
Because Charlamagne values the truth over loyalty. He called Kanye out when nobody else would. In his mind, honesty is the highest form of respect. To everyone else, it looks like betrayal. He creates enemies to prove he's free.
That is a lonely way to live. Creating enemies just to prove you aren't owned by anyone. It sounds exhausting. Is that why his skin actually changed color? I saw photos of him looking totally different years ago.
The bleaching wasn't cosmetic vanity. It was a medical revolt. He has nothing to hide, literally. He addressed it head on, claiming it was for treating hyperpigmentation, but the world mocked him. Again, he took the mockery and turned it into armor.
He really is bulletproof. You laugh at his skin, he joins in. You dig up his past, he writes a book about it. But there has to be a breaking point. What happens when the God character crumbles?
He didn't crumble, he expanded. He launched the Black Effect podcast network. He stopped being an employee and became the owner. He started signing the checks for the people who used to hate him.
That is the ultimate power move. Don't get mad, get equity. So he controls the narrative now? He's not just the court jester, he owns the whole circus. That makes him untouchable.
He pivots to politics. He's not just a radio host, he's a kingmaker. Presidential candidates fear him. Biden, Harris, Trump, they all know they have to kiss the ring or get destroyed on the morning show. He became the voice.
That's terrifying. A guy who started selling crack in Monk's Corner is now deciding who sits in the Oval Office. How does Washington let that happen? Do they not see the liability of putting him on that pedestal?
They see the numbers. But here is the twist that keeps executives up at night. Charlamagne signed a massive deal with Colbert to produce a show on Comedy Central, and it got cancelled. He failed upward into an even bigger slot.
He failed upward. That's the dream. But why did the first show tank? Was he too raw for cable TV? I feel like corporate America wants his edge, but can't actually handle the blade when he starts swinging.
Precisely. He is the glitch in the matrix. He represents the id of America, the ugly, messy, honest thoughts we suppress. We watch him because he acts out our darkest impulses without consequence. We need him to be the bad guy.
So we are using him. We project our own mess onto him so we can feel superior. That's twisted. But if he's just a reflection of us, why does he seem so calm now? He's practically a monk these days.
He isn't calm, he's controlled. He realized that anger was a low vibrational fuel. He switched to a high octane fuel, wisdom. But the darkness is still there, waiting. And that brings us back to the secret I mentioned at the start.
The prison cell DNA change. You said it wasn't just trauma. What actually happened in that cell that turned Leonard into a media god? Don't leave me hanging. I need to know the origin story.
In that cell, he made a pact. He decided he would rather be hated for who he is than loved for who he isn't. He killed Leonard to let Charlamagne breathe. The DNA didn't change, his soul's operating system did.
That gives me chills. He literally murdered his old self to survive. But if Leonard is dead, who is going home to his wife and kids every night? Is he ever just a normal guy?
That is the terrifying question. If you wear a mask long enough, it eats your face. Leonard might be gone forever. And if the mask ever slips, the whole empire falls. But tell me, would you watch the collapse?